Hey y'all, welcome to the first garden tour of 2025. I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to go through our entire garden. Now, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of our garden is a work in progress. We have made some major changes to our garden this year, some major expansions to our garden, and so there is gonna be a lot of mess, a lot of unfinished projects, but we're gonna show it all to you. And I'm also going to show you what crops that we have going right now so you guys can see what we're doing and how everything is looking. But before we get started, I wanna thank Rebekah for being today's video sponsor. Rebekah makes some very high quality metal raised beds. We've had one in our garden since last year and we love them so much, we actually decided to add 2 more. And as a thank you for watching today's video, Rebekah is offering 10% off of your guys' orders when you use our discount code LargeFamilyHomestead10 at checkout. So make sure you guys check that out. I'm going to leave that link and that code in the description and pinned comment for you. But honestly, we absolutely love their beds. They're very high quality. They come in so many shapes, sizes, colors. You can even get the ones that are like waist high if you are disabled or you need some extra support when gardening, and I highly recommend them. So now that we're through with that, let's get started with the tour. So this area is our 4 garden bed area. This is actually where we started with gardening, in here. And so like I said, we're gonna have some mess because a lot of these areas are a work in progress. So this was actually our first ever garden bed. And this year when we went to top it off with soil and amend it with compost, it actually fell apart. So we need to replace that, but I wanna replace it with another one of these, which is like beds that we built, because that's how this area looks. So we just haven't gotten around to doing that yet with all the other expansions that we're doing. And if you notice, there's a lot of landscape fabric down, and we're in the process of laying down landscape fabric in this area as well, because it is literally impossible to get a mower in here, even a push mower. So weed eating this entire area every year is a nightmare. So we decided this year we're gonna lay down landscape fabric, and that's what we're in the process of doing in here. As far as what we're growing, I'm gonna be honest, everything looks really, really sad right now, except for a few things, because we had some very cold days here in Texas. It was probably below freezing for almost 36 hours, and most of the crops, while they can handle it, they're going to be very sad. So let's start with this bed. This is our garlic bed. I probably planted garlic in either December or January, which is actually too late, but everything is looking really good in there right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 rows of garlic, 8 rows of 6 in here, and that should be enough for us for the year. Normally it is. This is normally about what we do every year, and it works out really well. Last year we did not actually get our harvest because we planted late, but this time I planted a little earlier than I did last year, so maybe we'll be okay. Over here is supposed to be carrots, but I don't think that they've come up yet. So moving on to this bed, we have onions all around the perimeter. Those are some of the crops that are going to look very sad. We have lots of onions in. Don't worry though, they are not dead. They're just sad. And then in the middle, we planted brassicas. I think in this bed we have the broccoli, like in the center, as sort of like to companion plant with the onions. They have not come up yet though either. We may need to replant. After this cold, a lot of stuff had come up as little tiny seedlings, and then it may have died. So we may need to replant after that really hard frost, some of this stuff. But like last year, we replanted stuff. We had to replant so many times because of the chickens and the cold. And so it's just part of gardening. Just keep that in mind when you're getting ready to garden. You may need to replant a lot of stuff. It's okay. And then in this bed, we also have onions around the outside that look very, very sad. But look, they're gonna make it. They've still got green. They'll be okay. This happened last year too. It normally happens. We get a cold snap and the onions look sad for a little. And then we also have brassicas in the middle of this bed. I think that this one was Brussels sprouts and cauliflower maybe. I could be wrong. We don't really tag a lot. We forget to, so we don't know what's in what. But we might need to replant that too because I'm not seeing any kind of sprouts or anything. So we may need to replant those as well. We'll have to see. And then this is our blackberry bush, not dead. This is how they look at this time of the year. This thing has been a massive producer for us. We got tons off of this last year, and I'm hoping for more again this year. All of these branches, these ones that are still alive here, these red ones, should fruit. All of these dead ones are from last year that fruited, and they actually need to be clipped off. So you can see how we have way more branches this year, fruiting branches, than we did last year. So we're gonna get to pruning those off soon. And then one more plant back here is this yucca, which I'm actually going to move this year. And the reason being is Dad actually got this 2 years ago when me and him were taking the Master Gardener class. And he won it. It was a door prize. Of course, he had to win the plant, right? So in my I don't really want to take care of this plant, I threw it down here thinking it would die, and it thrived. And the reason I don't want it down here anymore is it's actually in the way, and these leaves are extremely sharp, like sword sharp, and now it's having babies. It has 3 babies over there. So it's time to move it. And so once it warms up, I'm planning to move it into an area that we actually wanted to put a fence. So these things can be used as like a living fence, and so that's where I'm gonna put it and let it sprawl out there instead of back here where I don't want it. This is the one that's being loud. He's new in the chicken yard with the chickens, so him with people has been interesting. He gobbles a lot. He's very loud. He doesn't know how to handle when we're talking, I guess. He just gobbles constantly, so you're gonna hear him throughout the tour. So this is not one of our new areas, but this is where we have Joshua's pallet beds. Now these are the ones that he actually built for me last year. He built 3 of them. We wound up moving one because we wanted to put it somewhere else. And when we dug it up, there was no rot or anything. So for anyone who has bought Joshua's garden beds, these are in their 2nd year and there was no rot. So on these, we have onions on the outside and we have greens on the inside. I think that might be a green sprout, maybe right there. Not sure. We'll have to see. Like I said, some stuff might have to be replanted. The greens should have been able to handle the frost, so we'll have to see. Again, onions on the outside, greens on the inside. So I think in one we have collards and one we have mustards. Could be wrong about that. I didn't plant everything. So and then this is our new area this year. So you knew that we had grapes here, and we had that one, you see that orange bed right there with the green stuff coming out of the top, that we had down here too, but we wanted to actually turn this into an area for more garden beds. Now the reason we don't want to do things in ground over here is because we have a creek right there. And so there are times when this water can get up over here. And so I felt that garden beds, grow bags, stuff that keeps the crops off the ground would be best. Now the grapes have done well in ground here. I think they like all the water, but some crops do not. So I have this tub here that was broken. It's like a mineral tub, you know, for cattle. It was broken, so I just drilled some more holes in the bottom, and there's onions in there. Again, very sad onions. And then we have one of Joshua's. This is Joshua's experimental, really, really big pallet bed. And this is completely full of onions. So there's nothing in the middle here. It's all onions. The onions are in the middle too. So no companion planting going on in this one. We had way too many onions to do that. All right, so this is the veggie bed that we've had since last year. And all of the crops in here, except for the onions, have been in here since last fall-ish. So everything looks really sad, but if it survived the winter, it'll survive that freeze that we just had. So there's beets. They've milted every single time that we've gotten any kind of crazy cold. But look at this. You see these like reddish leaves right here? Those are actually new leaves coming out of the beets. So they've actually been doing pretty well with this cold, and I think we're gonna be able to harvest them this spring, which is crazy. So when you guys use metal beds like this, especially like the veggie guys, they actually keep the crops warmer in the cold. So beets normally would not make the winter here, but in this bed they did. The leaves have milted every time, that was normal. And then I normally leave the milted leaves until the new growth comes back because it'll sort of keep them warm. And then forgive all the weeds. I haven't been really weeding all winter, but there's also carrots over here mixed in with some weeds. The carrots also survived all winter. Now carrots normally sometimes could survive the winter here. It would depend on how bad of a winter you got, but they survived in this bed really, really well. So beets and carrots were the 2 main things that we wanted to try this year all winter, and the greens, which I'll show you, but they weren't in this bed. Grain should be able to make it in all winter here pretty much for a long time. So the green should be able to make it without extra help normally. And then we have lots of grow bags. Now, you know, these grow bags specifically we had in the other garden area that I just showed, but we actually moved them out here because this is going to be the like garden bed and grow bag area, sort of like the raised stuff, right? So, and the grow bags were sort of in the way over there because we have a lot of them. We have, I want to say we have 8. I think we have 8. So these are 10-gallon grow bags, and there's onions in all of them. Here's another, oh, here's one of the new veggie guys. It just has to be filled and planted. So by the next garden tour, I should have all of these new beds that I have in here filled and planted. This has literally been a crazy task that everyone has had to help out with. This is another metal bed, not a veggie guy, but we put onions in this one. And then here's the rest of those grow bags, all onions. And then here's the other new veggie guy. These are really pretty beds, guys. I highly recommend them. And they also come with the rubber on the top, and cheaper beds do not. So if you're looking for something, you know, to be safe as well, those have the rubber. Here's another one, Joshua's pallet beds. It didn't quite turn out right. He gave me all the ones that didn't turn out right. So I don't care, but he didn't want to sell them, so that's fine by me. And this is all onions, the entire thing. And then as an experiment this year, I got some potato grow bags to try potatoes in. Obviously, this is not our entire family's potato crop. Like I said, it's just an experiment. So we're doing some in grow bags and some in the ground, but we haven't planted the ones in the ground yet. So these have the potatoes in them. They haven't popped up yet. And then some more new beds that we're in the process of filling. I'm not probably gonna leave this one here because it's in front of that one, but 2 new beds that we need to fill. Oh, there's another grow bag with onions, another metal bed with onions, and then another metal bed that's actually not where I think we're putting it. We might put it there. I guess it's gonna depend because it's sort of off level there. We haven't filled it yet. So another metal bed we need to fill. But once all these beds are full and filled up and we plant them all, and then this is gonna be a really great area for us to plant things that we like to go in raised beds. And then here's some of the greens that sort of survived the winter. I think that maybe this one didn't make it, but these will. So you can see that it actually has some new growth. These melted because of the cold again. And then that one has some new growth on it too, you can see there. So these I think are gonna make it, but that one might not have. So the Swiss chard experiment to see if we could do Swiss chard all year round, I think is a go. Probably plant more of that this year. And then this is our very, very large in-ground garden area. Huge. Now you know that Joshua had built a trellis last year for the garden. It fell apart probably a few weeks ago. And so we decided that with everything going on, it was just best to get a new trellis instead of build one just this time. With everything he's been doing, he's been very busy. And then here we have, again, forgive the weeds. There's a lot of them. We're trying. As you can see, they're working their way through here to weed. But we have lettuce. Right here is lettuce. It's a little bit sad because of the cold. Turnips that are ready to be harvested. Don't yell at me about them being too close together. I know that most of them are too close together. We've got cabbage here, which looks really, really good. I've just been watching for like pests and stuff. Again, don't yell at me. I'm pretty sure they're too close together. I know. This was our tomato area last year. Forgive all the boxes. That's what we're laying out to suppress the weeds. We just have them all in a pile down here. So this is our tomato area. If you remember, this is behind the other area. There's the big blackberry bush. And then we actually have, let's see, I think it's 2 more in here or 3 more. I'm trying to see where here's another blackberry bush. No, this will be its first fruiting year. And that one will be its first fruiting year. We just planted them, I want to say the fall of 2023 we planted them. So in 2024 they did not fruit at all. And then there's a raspberry bush right there that fruited a little bit last year. Should fruit more this year, hopefully. That one's looking a little scrawny and sad as well. The cold sort of got to a lot of this stuff. And then over on this side, we have in-ground onions right here. This whole row is in-ground onions. Right through here, all the way down to there. Again, they look sad, but they should make it. This whole area is in-ground onions. We had a lot of onions. We'll probably plant some stuff with that. Here's some lettuce. Right here, they just weeded this, so hopefully stuff will start to come back now from the cold. Right here, we have the elderberries. These things are huge. They produced tons of fruit last year, so we're hoping for more this year. As you can see, they're all showing signs of life, so none of the elderberry actually died through the winter. We're good with that. And this is all like native elderberry, most of it, so most of it we grew from cuttings, from friends that gave us to us from like their woods or whatever. And then we had people trade with us some elderberry cuttings when like we helped them call their chickens and stuff. So that's all looking good. Here's another, this is one of the new ones. This one right here. That one's good. And then right here is our Asian pear tree. This has never fruited yet, but normally we would take the fruit off anyway if it did fruit. So this needs to be pruned yet this year. It'll get a light pruning because it's still small. And I'll probably air layer some of it as well, which means to clone. Here's blueberry bush. You guys know we had lots and lots of blueberries last year. We may not have quite as many this year. Last summer was very, very hard on these, and they actually lost some of their main branches. But if you look, it is budding and still alive on some of these branches, just like this one's dead. This top one here, you can see. I'm pretty sure that this part of this main branch here is dead. So it will need to be pruned back a little bit. Hopefully go easy. Hopefully this summer will be easier for them. And then again with this one, again, I think we lost a major portion of this one, but it survived. There's leaves coming, there's buds. There's still some green wood there. That area is currently an area we're working on to build it up so it doesn't get quite as wet, but we wouldn't plant anything down there anyway that can't handle all of the water. So here's one of our apple trees. Again, it'll get a very, very light pruning. And then here's our other apple tree right here. So Dad actually fixed this one. Last year it was leaning pretty bad, and he actually was able to pull it up and fix it. Still leaning a little bit, but not nearly as bad as it was. And then this is our asparagus patch. You can sort of tell by where the red bricks are. That's like the no walk zone where the red bricks are. So I don't know if the asparagus survived. Oh wait, yes it did. Look, there's some right there. It sort of melted a little bit because I think the cold, but it's there. I was wondering if it was gonna survive or not. Looks like it might have. So we'll watch, because we may be able to do a light harvest this year, because it is its second year, so we'll have to see how thick they are when they come up. It sort of depends. If they're thick enough, I'll probably harvest for maybe 2 weeks tops and then be done. I'll keep harvesting until they get thin. Once they get thin, I'll stop. Last year was the first year where we planted them and they were thin. So that's our entire garden that's going on right now as we're getting ready for spring. By next garden tour, we're probably going to have most of our worm season stuff in. We'll have all of the anything else that we wanted that was cooler season would definitely be in by then. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go check out Rebekah if you guys are looking to add some metal raised beds to your garden this year. They're a very high quality brand. If there's anything specific you guys would like to see us grow in our garden this year, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And don't forget, if you're seeing this video, I already posted that garden harvest, so go check it out. I'll leave the link down below.